As the month wraps up for WWE, NXT promised one last big show this week. Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov came face to face for the first time since the Former's attack on Trick and the Mad Dragon in the same week. What did they have to say? Noah ended up his Heritage Cup on the line, and we also had some big matches with the likes of Gallows and Anderson in action. But we started things off with Kiana James versus Kalani Jordan. Carmelo Hayes refused to get in the ring with Dragunov before that, though, unless a contract was signed for their championship match. He gave the Mad Dragon the end of the night to figure it out. Meanwhile, Kalani Jordan was rolling until Dane tripped her off the apron behind the referee's back. It set up Kiana James for the deal breaker to score the win. And yeah, there was some miscues in the match, especially down the stretch. When they avoided serious botches, it slowed the action and stopped the two from reaching top gear. It's a contest to revisit, though. Is really good work. It's just maybe didn't work out here. James was always going to win as Jordan has continued to fight alone, despite having more established friends in the makeover. Moreover, the businesswoman is likely to earn a title shot soon. But for me, it just didn't really click here, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Before it's time for Gallows and Anderson versus Blade and Inofi. And yeah, they did their best to keep Gallows and Anderson off their feet, but it took just one magic killer to end it. Afterwards, Chase U, as well as Fraser and Axiom, demanded a shot at the Good Brothers. The LWO arrived to attack Gallows and Anderson, starting a brawl where all the NXT wrestlers sent the OC running. Only one team could win this, but it was quite an interesting match still. The run had been forgettable mostly, but it's a solid match and they fit better in NXT, letting new stars shine. Blade and Inofi showed off, looking like a top tag team against the main roster duo. It could have been longer, but the two did a lot of heavy lifting in this match. It's a shame that the division is moving past Blade and Inofi, but staying hot with an influx of other teams, especially from the main roster, is decent. So 6 out of 10. Before it's time for Roxanne Perez versus Shikara Jackson. Perez took a beating early, but the latter's inexperience got the best of her. The Prodigy rolled through into a crossface to force submission. It was the first look at Jordan as a singles performer, and she was great. Perez guided her through a physical and heated encounter that built to Prodigy wiping out her opponent when it mattered. Jackson was never actually beating Perez, who remains the most interesting challenger for Lyra, but it was good to see what she could do. Hopefully, Valkyrie can address the elephant in the room sooner rather than later. The Gold brand should really start, ramping up this feud, because yeah, I think it's a really exciting match. Not so long ago now, so yeah, would definitely make sense. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 on the whole. Before it was time for Dijak versus Luca Crucifino. Crucifino tried to kite the piece against Dijak, but Hard Justice caught him with a Zeskus big boot to feast your eyes for the win. Joe Gacy arrived still wearing a straight jacket, but managed to escape Dijak's dungeon. Crucifino dumped Dijak outside, starting off the brawl before hitting Dijak and Gacy to the back. Even in on night of fast matches, this felt especially quick. The two moved at an impressive pace, which was set by the rookie. Crucifino looked good, even if his actual offense was limited. Despite Dijak letting Crucifino do most of the work, he still looked strong in the win. He remained a dangerous opponent against anyone, and Gacy's story remains fascinating. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I like the way we kind of combine multiple things, so I think it really worked quite well. So yeah, did a good job of it, and I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Before Lyra Valkyria brought out Tatum Paxi to announce the two would challenge Oscar and Sane for the tag titles next week, which was really good. Going to be a great match, and that whole character with Paxi I think is quite intriguing as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what they do with that one. Before Ridge Holland came out and wanted to make an apology, but instead the lights went out, revealing a truth that showed on the Titantron before Sean Spears made his return. Not Tyler Dillinger, Sean Spears blasting Holland with a chair. This was a chaotic series of quick events. The Valkyrie and Paxi had great dynamic. Hadn't earned the title shot, the only criticism, but Holland interrupting them was not a way to endear him to the round. But returning Spears, it's definitely didn't see this one coming, especially on NXT, but he can have a really good run in WWE's second presentation. Experience is useful, and yeah, to be honest, I'm really intrigued to see what he does. I've always been a huge fan of him. Before it's time for Lexis King versus Von Wagner. King seemed to have the better strategy in his battle with Wagner, chopping him down at the leg. However, distraction from Mr. Stone allowed Wagner to stack him for free. There was nothing to write home about on this one. King did a classic heel tag against the big man, chopping him down at the leg. Wagner barely got any offense in, despite his size advantage, only winning by rollout. The main positive is that Wagner at least picked up a victory for once. He did so at the expense of King, whose win-loss record is becoming really quite dire. It was the right move, though, as a big man is more interesting at the moment. He just needs to figure out how to play the babyface, forgetting his size and the strength advantage over most opponents. So yeah, while in general it might not look great, I think for the segment alone it was alright. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Before it's time for Gigi Dolan versus Jada Parker. Grace tried to convince both of them to start fighting after physical opening to their match. Gigi Dolan laid out Grace, but the distraction allowed Parker to pick up the win with a running low forearm strike. It didn't look good on paper, but Dolan worked a faster style than usual and meshed well with Parker. Green's interference was a bizarre move that stopped the match cold in its final stretch and took away from the point of the encounter. Hopefully Dorian and Parker can revisit this one down the stretch, because they definitely brought the best out of each other. Parker's slowly building momentum, and as she continues to improve in the ring, her presentation could push her straight back up to the title scene, you feel. So yeah, gets 6 out of 10 for me. I thought it wasn't bad. Big win for Parker, and I think the surrounding story all kind of made sense. And yeah, like I say, lots of long-term potential here, which is what NXT is all about, really. Noah and Dar then took on Charlie Dempsey in a Heritage Cup match, and he was revealed right before the bell. Dempsey caught a Scottish Supernova in a surprise division pin for the first fall in round 1. In round 4, Dan ran over Dempsey and landed a Nova roller to tie it up. No quarter catch crew all got involved to distract Dar and Mensah in the 5th round, setting up Dempsey to win in a bridging dragon suplex. Started hot with the first round decision, pushing Dar to work as an underdog. However, lack of heat slowed to a crawl down the stretch. The finish was appropriate as Dar finally got a taste of his own medicine with the numbers game, but it was quite uneven. It was time for a change, so Dempsey winning it is great. What's important is the stable start looking dominant. They cannot become generic heels obviously without the title for Dar, but I think for this match alone it was great babyface triumph, and yeah, I thought an enjoyable match as well, so I'm going to 7 out of 10. Looking forward to seeing what he can do with the belt. But moving on then to Carmelo Hayes, who looked confident until Tony D arrived. He wanted the NXT Championship shot and revealed it would be D'Angelo versus Melo next week. The Mad Dragon agreed to the terms, but Melo was unhappy. This was a nice swerve on expectations. If the plan is for Melo v Trick at Stand and Deliver, the Don is a fresh challenger for Dragunov with fan support due to his steady work in NXT over the years. Even if Melo wins, this sets up D'Angelo as a future challenger, while explaining why Dragunov v Melo has to wait until Stand and Deliver. NXT has shown time and time again that the championship scene is the most important scene on the gold brand, and yeah, in many segments like this one especially, definitely gets booked as the best kind of segment on the card. So yeah, on the whole, a really hot ending to NXT, and overall NXT this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, quite a few talking points you'd have to say on this week's episode of NXT. Obviously with the decision to bring Sean Spears back, which is interesting, a new Heritage Cup champion, and of course setting up that main event. So yeah, on the whole, I thought it was really solid stuff, and I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.